The UNS Odyssey glided silently through the vast expanse of uncharted space, its sleek form cutting through the darkness like a blade. On board, Logan, one of the few humans on this joint human-UNA research vessel, worked diligently at his station in engineering. The ship was a melting pot of species, each with its unique customs and biological quirks, but none fascinated Logan more than the UNA, a race of predominantly asexual beings. Zephyr, a brilliant UNA xenobiologist with shimmering blue skin and large, inquisitive eyes, had taken a particular interest in Logan. Her curiosity about human biology, especially the concept of reproduction, had led to many awkward yet intriguing conversations. On this day, as Logan adjusted the controls of the hydroponics bay, Zephyr approached him with a question that would leave him utterly flustered. "Logan, can you explain how humans reproduce?" Zephyr asked, her eyes wide with innocent curiosity. Logan, caught off guard, fumbled with the controls before turning to face her. "Well, it's complicated. Human reproduction involves a male and a female, engaging in an intimate act." Zephyr tilted her head, her expression both fascinated and perplexed. "Intimate? What do you mean by that?" Logan sighed, realizing there was no easy way to explain this. "It's a physical act where the male and female connect. The male releases something called seed into the female, and if the conditions are right, it can lead to the creation of new life." Zephyr's eyes widened even further. "So it's not just for reproduction. It's done for pleasure as well." Logan felt his face flush. "Yes, it can be pleasurable. It's a part of human bonding." Zephyr's gaze lingered on Logan, her curiosity far from sated. "Can I try it?" Logan nearly choked on his words. "What? No, it's not something you just try. It's a deeply personal and emotional experience." Before their conversation could go any further, alarms blared throughout the ship. The Odyssey had detected an unknown object on a collision course. Logan, grateful for the distraction, rushed to his station, but the tension between him and Zephyr lingered in the air. As the ship's sensors scanned the approaching object, the crew's worst fears were realized. It wasn't just a rogue asteroid or debris. It was a colossal, living creature, unlike anything they had ever encountered. The creature's size was incomprehensible, its tendrils reaching out like the limbs of some ancient cosmic god. "Battle stations," Captain Krell's voice boomed through the ship's intercom. "Prepare for impact." Logan's heart raced as he rerouted power to the shields, trying to push thoughts of Zephyr's unsettling question out of his mind. The ship shuddered as the creature made contact, its tendrils coiling around the hull with a sickening crunch. The Odyssey's crew braced themselves for the worst, but in the chaos, Zephyr's calm voice cut through the noise. "Logan, I think I can communicate with it." Logan turned to her, incredulous. "What? How?" Zephyr's eyes glowed with determination. "I can connect with it using the neural interface. It's risky, but I believe I can reach out to its consciousness." Logan hesitated. "It's too dangerous. We don't know what this thing is capable of." But Zephyr was undeterred. "It's our only chance. We have to try." Before Logan could protest further, Zephyr had already connected herself to the interface. Her body went rigid as she made contact with the creature's mind. The Odyssey's crew watched in awe and horror as the creature's tendrils began to relax, slowly unwinding from the ship. For a moment, it seemed as though Zephyr had succeeded. But then, the creature's tendrils began to glow with a strange, pulsating light, and Zephyr let out a scream of pain. Logan rushed to her side, disconnecting her from the interface just in time. As Zephyr collapsed into Logan's arms, the creature retreated into the void, leaving the Odyssey battered but intact. The crew erupted into a cacophony of relief, but Logan's focus was solely on Zephyr, whose breathing was shallow and labored. "Zephyr," Logan whispered, brushing a strand of her silken hair from her face. "I've got you." Zephyr's eyes fluttered open, and she managed a weak smile. "Logan, I saw so much. It's changed everything." As the ship's medical team rushed to Zephyr's aid, Logan couldn't shake the feeling that their encounter with the alien creature was only the beginning of something far more profound. The Odyssey's journey had taken an unexpected turn, and with it, the relationship between Logan and Zephyr had shifted in ways neither of them could have anticipated. The Odyssey's sickbay was a flurry of activity as Dr. Colin Voss, the ship's chief medical officer, hovered over Zephyr's prone form. Logan sat nearby, his eyes never leaving her still face. The blue-skinned Una lay motionless, her chest rising and falling in shallow breaths. "I've never seen neural patterns like this," Dr. Voss muttered, frowning at the readouts. "The interface may have caused lasting damage. Her recovery is uncertain." Logan's teeth gritted as he reached out gently, taking Zephyr's cool hand in his own. "She's strong. She'll pull through." Dr. Voss's antenna twitched skeptically, but he said nothing more. Logan knew that the Una were resilient, but this was uncharted territory for both of them. The connection Zephyr had made with the creature had left her vulnerable in ways neither of them had anticipated. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Captain Krell's scaled fist slammed down on the conference table. "We need answers, not speculation." Science Officer Trell raised an eyebrow, his voice calm and logical. "The logical course of action is clear. We must study this entity further. The scientific implications are—" "Bah!" Security Chief Grank interrupted, baring his Klingon teeth. "That creature is a threat. We should destroy it before it consumes us all." The debate raged on, neither side willing to concede. Back in sickbay, Logan leaned close to Zephyr's ear. "I'm here," he whispered. "I'll help you through this, no matter what. Just come back to me." As if in response to his words, Zephyr's eyelids fluttered open. A weak smile curved her lips as she focused on Logan's face. "Logan," she breathed, "everything's different now. I saw so much." Her fingers tightened around his. "My perspective has changed. On the universe. On us." Logan's heart raced as he leaned in, his lips brushing hers in a tender kiss. For a moment, the chaos of the ship faded away, leaving only the two of them. But their fragile peace was shattered by the blaring of alarms. "Red alert. All hands to battle stations." Captain Krell's voice echoed through the ship. Logan reluctantly pulled away. "I have to go. Engineering needs me." Zephyr struggled to sit up. "I'm coming with you." "What?" "No, you need to rest." She gripped his arm, her eyes blazing with tenacity. "I have a connection to that entity now. I might be the only one who can communicate with it. Please, Logan, trust me." He hesitated, then nodded. "All right, but stay close." They hurried through the corridors, alarms pulsing around them. Crew members rushed past, faces grim with purpose. As they neared engineering, the ship shuddered violently. "What's happening?" Zephyr gasped, steadying herself against a bulkhead. Logan's fingers flew across a nearby console, his eyes widening. "The jellyfish. It's back. And it's not alone. There's a fleet of unknown ships in pursuit, weapons hot." They burst into engineering, a hive of frantic activity. Logan immediately began rerouting power to the shields. Zephyr stood at his side, her face pale but resolute. "We have to help it," she insisted. "It's not a threat. It's scared. Those ships are hunting it." Logan met her gaze, seeing the conviction there. He nodded, then opened a channel to the bridge. "Captain, this is Logan in engineering. I have a suggestion." As the Odyssey moved to intercept the alien fleet, Logan and Zephyr worked side by side, their newfound connection humming between them. It was a bridge between species, forged in the crucible of crisis. Whatever came next, they would face it together. The Odyssey shuddered as the first volley from the alien fleet tore into the jellyfish entity. Zephyr's scream pierced the air in engineering, her hands flying to her temples as she doubled over in pain. "Zephyr." Logan caught her before she hit the deck. "What's wrong?" "I can feel its agony," she gasped, tears streaming down her cheeks. "We have to help it. "Logan, please." He nodded, helping her to her feet. "We need to get to the bridge." As they hurried through the corridors, the ship rocked with each impact. Crew members scrambled to their stations, faces etched with determination. They burst onto the bridge just as Captain Krell barked out another order. "Target their weapon systems. Full phaser barrage." "Wait," Zephyr cried, stumbling forward. "Captain, please, we need to communicate with them." Krell's antenna twitched in irritation. "This is hardly the time for—" "She's right," Commander Trell interjected, his Vulcan calm a stark contrast to the chaos around them. "Peaceful resolution should always be our first recourse." "Bah!" Security Chief Grank snarled. "You would have us destroyed while we attempt pleasantries." Zephyr locked eyes with Krell. "I can link with the jellyfish again. Please, give me a chance." The captain's scaled fingers drummed on his chair. Finally, he nodded. "Very well. Cease fire." As the phasers fell silent, Zephyr closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind. Logan watched in awe as her face contorted, flashes of alien emotion playing across her features. "The attackers," she murmured. They're the same species, but different. Angry. They see the jellyfish as a threat." She gasped, eyes flying open. "Captain, there's another fleet incoming. Bigger. I don't know their intentions, but—" Her words were cut off as the ship rocked violently. The original attackers had resumed their assault, heedless of Krell's attempts at diplomacy. "Evasive maneuvers," Krell roared. "Get us out of here." Logan scooped Zephyr into his arms as klaxons blared. "We need to get you somewhere safe." They raced through the corridors as the ship shuddered around them, the fate of the Odyssey and its crew hanging in the balance. Part 3. The Alliance. The Odyssey's corridors were a blur as Logan and Zephyr sprinted toward the auxiliary command center. The ship shuddered violently with each impact from the alien fleet, the hull groaning under the relentless assault. Zephyr clung to Logan's arm, her face pale but determined. "We can't keep running," Zephyr gasped, her breath coming in ragged bursts. "If we don't find a way to communicate with them, they'll destroy us." Logan nodded, his mind racing. "There has to be a way. Maybe if we—" He was cut off as the ship lurched violently, throwing them both against the wall. Logan winced as pain shot through his shoulder, but he forced himself to focus. "We need to get to the auxiliary command center. If we can boost the power to the communications array, maybe we can reach them." Zephyr nodded, her eyes filled with resolve. "Let's do it." They pushed forward, fighting against the ship's violent movements. As they neared the command center, the lights flickered ominously, the power fluctuating under the strain of the battle. Logan's heart pounded in his chest as he swiped his access card, the doors sliding open with a hiss. Inside, the command center was a hive of activity. Crew members worked frantically at their stations, their faces etched with concentration and fear. Logan and Zephyr rushed to the main console, where Lieutenant Adams was coordinating the ship's defenses. "Lieutenant, we need to boost power to the communications array," Logan said urgently. "Zephyr thinks she can reach the alien fleet." Adams frowned, his brow furrowed with concern. "Are you sure? We're barely holding together as it is." "We don't have a choice," Zephyr interjected, her voice firm. "If we don't communicate with them, we're all dead." Adams hesitated, then nodded. "Do it." Logan's fingers flew across the console, rerouting power from non-essential systems to the communications array. The ship groaned in protest, but the lights stabilized as the power surge took effect. "You're clear," Adams said, his voice tense. "But make it quick." Zephyr stepped forward, her hands trembling slightly as she connected herself to the neural interface. Logan watched, his heart in his throat, as she closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Zephyr's face contorted with concentration, her brow furrowing as she made contact with the alien fleet. Logan held his breath, praying that this would work. I can feel them," Zephyr murmured, her voice distant and strained. They're afraid. They think we're a threat. Tell them we're not, Logan urged, his voice tight with anxiety. Tell them we want to help. Zephyr's lips moved silently as she communicated with the aliens, her body tense with effort. The minutes stretched on, the tension in the command center palpable as the crew waited for some sign of success. Finally, Zephyr's eyes snapped open, her breath coming in gasps. They're listening. They want to meet. Adams let out a sigh of relief, his shoulders slumping with exhaustion. Thank God. But Logan's relief was short-lived. The ship shuddered again, and the lights flickered ominously. What's happening? He demanded, his voice laced with fear. Adams's face was grim. We're out of time. The alien fleet is still attacking. Zephyr's eyes widened in horror. No, they promised. Maybe not all of them got the message. Logan interrupted, his mind racing. We need to get to the bridge. If we can establish direct communication with their leader, we might be able to stop this. Zephyr nodded, her face pale but determined. Let's go. They raced through the corridors once more, the ship's violent movements growing more erratic as the battle intensified. Crew members scrambled to their stations, their faces etched with determination, as they fought to keep the ship intact. When they burst onto the bridge, Captain Krell was barking orders, his voice hoarse with strain. Target their weapon systems. Full phaser barrage. Wait! Logan shouted, rushing to the captain's side. We need to establish communication with their leader. Zephyr made contact, but not all of them got the message. Krell's antennae twitched with frustration, but he nodded. Do it. But if this doesn't work, it will, Logan said firmly, his heart pounding in his chest. It has to. He rushed to the communications console, his fingers flying over the controls as he patched through to the alien fleet. The screen flickered for a moment, then resolved into the image of an alien creature, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. This is Logan, chief engineer of the UNS Odyssey, Logan said, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at his gut. We're not your enemies. We want to help. The alien's eyes narrowed, its voice a low, rumbling growl. You are trespassers in our domain. Why should we trust you? Because we have no choice, Logan said, his voice filled with conviction. If we don't work together, we'll all be destroyed. The alien's eyes flickered with uncertainty, and for a moment, Logan feared the worst. But then, the creature nodded slowly. Very well, we will listen. Relief flooded through Logan, but he knew their work was far from over. As he and Zephyr began negotiations with the alien fleet, the fate of the Odyssey, and possibly the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. Part 4. The negotiation. The Odyssey's bridge hummed with tension as Logan and Zephyr continued their communication with the alien fleet's leader. The alien's holographic form loomed over the command center, its glowing eyes narrowing with every word. We do not seek conflict, Zephyr said, her voice calm but firm. Our mission is one of exploration and understanding. We had no intention of encroaching on your territory. The alien leader, who identified itself as Tivar, regarded her with a mixture of suspicion and curiosity. Your ship's actions say otherwise. You engaged our forces. We cannot simply overlook that. Captain Krell stepped forward, his antennae twitching with agitation. We were defending ourselves. Your ships fired on us first. Tivar's gaze shifted to Krell, its expression unreadable. You were intruders. We acted to protect our domain. Logan, sensing the conversation was veering toward hostility, quickly intervened. We acknowledge that there were misunderstandings on both sides. But now that we are communicating, we have an opportunity to avoid further conflict. Tivar's eyes flickered, and it seemed to consider Logan's words. You speak of peace, but peace is fragile. Trust is hard to earn, especially among different species. Zephyr nodded, her expression earnest. We understand that. But we believe that trust can be built through cooperation. We are willing to work together with you, to share our knowledge and resources." Tivar was silent for a moment, its glowing eyes studying Zephyr intently. "You are not like the others," it finally said. "Your mind is different, connected." Zephyr glanced at Logan, then back at Tivar. "Yes, I was able to make contact with the Star Wanderer, the creature your ships were pursuing. It shared its thoughts with me." Tivar's expression shifted slightly, a flicker of what might have been surprise crossing its features. "The Star Wanderers are ancient beings, revered by our people. They are not easily understood, even by us." Logan took a step forward, his heart pounding. "We want to help the Star Wanderer. It's clearly in distress. If we can work together, maybe we can find a way to assist it." Tivar's eyes narrowed again, and it seemed to weigh Logan's words carefully. "You offer assistance, but what do you seek in return?" Logan hesitated for a moment, then spoke with conviction. "We seek knowledge, understanding. The universe is vast and full of mysteries. We believe that by working together, we can uncover those mysteries and benefit both our species." Tivar was silent for what felt like an eternity. The bridge crew held their breath, waiting for the alien leader's response. Finally, Tivar spoke, its voice low and measured. "We will consider your proposal. But understand this. Trust is not given lightly. You will need to prove yourselves." Zephyr nodded, her expression resolute. "We understand. We are prepared to do whatever it takes." Tivar's holographic form flickered, and it inclined its head slightly. "Very well. We will cease hostilities, for now. But be warned, we will be watching your every move." With that, the holographic image of Tivar vanished, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Captain Krell let out a slow breath, his antennae drooping slightly in relief. "Well," he said, his voice gruff but tinged with a hint of respect. "That went better than I expected." Logan nodded, his mind racing with the implications of what had just transpired. "This is just the beginning. We have a lot of work ahead of us." Zephyr reached out, placing a hand on Logan's arm. "We'll get through this, together." As the crew of the Odyssey began preparations for their newfound alliance with the alien fleet, Logan and Zephyr couldn't shake the feeling that their journey was far from over. The Star Wanderer was still out there, its fate uncertain. And with it, the fragile alliance they had forged hung in the balance. But for now, they had bought themselves some time. Time to build trust, to uncover the mysteries of the Star Wanderers, and to prove that cooperation between species was possible, even in the vast, uncharted reaches of space. Part 5. The Star Wanderer's Call. The days following the ceasefire were tense, as the Odyssey crew worked to establish a fragile truce with Tivar's fleet. The Star Wanderer, the massive alien entity that had initially threatened the Odyssey, now floated silently in space, its tendrils drifting lazily as if it were in a deep, contemplative slumber. Zephyr spent hours in sickbay, recovering from the strain of her initial contact with the Star Wanderer. Logan visited her often, his worry evident in the lines etched across his face. "How are you feeling?" Logan asked, sitting beside her bed. Zephyr managed a small smile, though her eyes were still shadowed with exhaustion. "Better, but I keep thinking about the Star Wanderer. It's calling to me, Logan. I can feel it." Logan frowned, concern tightening his chest. "What do you mean, calling to you?" Zephyr's gaze grew distant, her voice soft. "It's like a whisper in the back of my mind. I don't fully understand it, but it's as if the Star Wanderer is reaching out to me, trying to communicate something important." Logan took her hand, his grip gentle but firm. "Do you think it's safe to make contact again, after what happened last time?" "I know the risks," Zephyr interrupted, her eyes locking onto his. "But I can't ignore this. The Star Wanderer needs our help. I have to try." Logan's heart pounded in his chest, torn between his fear for Zephyr's safety and his trust in her instincts. "All right," he finally said, his voice barely above a whisper. But we're doing this together. They returned to the bridge, where Captain Krell and the senior officers were deep in discussion with Tivar's holographic image. The alien leader had been cautiously cooperative, though it was clear that trust between the two sides was still tenuous. "Captain," Zephyr said, stepping forward with Logan by her side, "I need to make contact with the Star Wanderer again. It's trying to communicate with me." Krell's antennae twitched, and he regarded her with a mixture of concern and curiosity. "Are you certain? The last time nearly cost you your life." "I'm certain," Zephyr replied, her voice steady. "I believe the Star Wanderer has information that could be crucial to our survival, and to the survival of Tivar's fleet." Tivar's holographic form turned to Zephyr, its glowing eyes narrowing slightly. "You claim to have a connection with the Star Wanderer. This is unprecedented. But if you truly believe it can help, then I will not oppose your efforts." Krell nodded, though his expression remained guarded. "Proceed, but be careful. We can't afford any more risks." Zephyr took a deep breath, then stepped up to the neural interface station. Logan stood by her side, his presence a steadying force as she connected herself to the system. The bridge crew watched in tense silence as Zephyr's eyes fluttered closed, her mind once again reaching out to the vast consciousness of the Star Wanderer. At first, there was nothing but darkness. Then, slowly, Zephyr began to perceive a faint, pulsing light, like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant. She focused on the light, letting it draw her deeper into the Star Wanderer's mind. The connection was overwhelming, a flood of alien emotions and thoughts that threatened to drown her. But Zephyr held on, her determination unwavering. She had to find out what the Star Wanderer was trying to tell her. Suddenly, the light flared, and Zephyr found herself standing in a strange, ethereal landscape. The ground beneath her feet was soft and shifting, like sand in a gentle breeze. The sky above was a swirling mass of colors, constantly shifting and changing. In the distance, she saw the Star Wanderer, a massive, otherworldly being, its tendrils stretching out like the roots of an ancient tree. It seemed to pulse with energy, its form both beautiful and terrifying. Zephyr took a step forward, her heart pounding in her chest. "I'm here," she called out, her voice echoing in the vast expanse. "What do you want to tell me?" The Star Wanderer's tendrils shifted, and Zephyr felt a wave of emotions wash over her: fear, pain, and a deep, abiding loneliness. It was as if the creature had been wandering the cosmos for eons, searching for something it could not find. "I'm sorry," Zephyr whispered, her voice filled with empathy. "I know you're in pain, but we want to help. We want to understand." The Star Wanderer pulsed again, and Zephyr was suddenly flooded with images. Vast, ancient cities floating in the void, colossal ships locked in battle, and a dying world, its surface cracked and barren. Zephyr's breath caught in her throat as she realized what the Star Wanderer was showing her. It was a memory of a civilization long gone, destroyed by forces beyond its control. "You're the last of your kind," Zephyr murmured, her heart breaking for the creature. "But you're not alone anymore. We'll help you, I promise." The Star Wanderer's tendrils seemed to relax, and Zephyr felt a sense of relief wash over her. The connection between them grew stronger, and she realized that the creature was not just communicating with her, it was trusting her. Zephyr's eyes fluttered open, and she found herself back on the bridge of the Odyssey. Logan was at her side, his expression filled with concern and relief. "What happened?" Logan asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Zephyr took a deep breath, her mind still reeling from the experience. The Star Wanderer, it's the last of its kind. Its civilization was destroyed, and it's been searching for a new home ever since. It needs our help, Logan. We have to protect it. Logan nodded, his heart swelling with pride and love for the woman beside him. "Then that's what we'll do. We'll protect it." As the crew of the Odyssey began preparations to assist the Star Wanderer, Zephyr couldn't shake the feeling that their journey was far from over. The Star Wanderer's call had set them on a new path, a path filled with danger, discovery, and the potential for a brighter future. But for now, they had a mission, and Zephyr was determined to see it through, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Part 6. The Final Stand. The days passed in a blur as the crew of the Odyssey worked tirelessly to prepare for the upcoming mission. The Star Wanderer had shared its memories with Zephyr, revealing the location of a hidden refuge, an ancient sanctuary where its kind had once thrived. But the journey would not be easy. The alien fleet led by Tivar was still wary of the Odyssey's intentions, and there were factions within the fleet that saw the Star Wanderer as a threat to be eliminated. Captain Krell called a meeting in the Odyssey's war room, where the senior officers and Tivar's holographic image gathered around a large glowing map of the sector. "Our destination is here," Krell said, pointing to a distant star system on the map. According to the Star Wanderer's memories, this system was once a thriving hub for its species. If we can reach it, we may be able to find a way to stabilize the Star Wanderer's condition and ensure its survival. Tivar's holographic form loomed over the table, its glowing eyes narrowed in thought. "And what of the factions within my fleet? There are those who would see the Star Wanderer destroyed, regardless of your intentions." "We'll need to be cautious," Zephyr said, her voice calm but firm. "But I believe that if we can reach the sanctuary, we may be able to prove to your people that the Star Wanderer is not a threat." Tivar regarded her with a mixture of suspicion and curiosity. "Your connection to the Star Wanderer is unique. It is possible that your influence could sway the more aggressive elements within my fleet." Logan, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. "We need to be prepared for anything. If the factions within Tivar's fleet decide to attack, we'll need to defend ourselves and the Star Wanderer." Krell nodded, his expression grim. "Agreed. We'll set course for the sanctuary immediately. Lieutenant Adams, prepare the ship for battle. I want all systems at full readiness." "Aye, Captain," Adams replied, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. As the meeting adjourned, Logan and Zephyr lingered behind, their minds heavy with the weight of what lay ahead. "Are you sure about this?" Logan asked, his voice filled with concern. "This mission is dangerous, and we don't know what we're walking into." Zephyr met his gaze, her eyes filled with determination. "I am. The Star Wanderer trusted me with its memories. Logan, I can't abandon it now." Logan nodded, his heart swelling with pride for the woman he loved. "Then I'll be right there with you, every step of the way." The Odyssey set course for the distant star system, the tension on board palpable as the crew prepared for what could be their final mission. The journey through the void was long and perilous, with the alien fleet trailing close behind, their intentions unclear. As they approached the star system, the ship's sensors detected a massive structure, a colossal space station, its surface covered in strange, alien symbols. It was the sanctuary the Star Wanderer had revealed to Zephyr, a relic of a long-lost civilization. But as they neared the station, the alien fleet began to close in, their ships forming a menacing blockade. Tivar's holographic image appeared on the bridge, its expression grave. "There are those among my people who see this sanctuary as a threat," Tivar said. "They believe that the Star Wanderer must be destroyed to prevent a resurgence of its kind." Captain Krell's antennae twitched with frustration. "We came here to help, not to fight. And yet you may have no choice," Tivar replied, its voice tinged with regret. "Prepare yourselves. The factions are preparing to engage." The Odyssey's crew sprang into action, the ship's weapons systems powering up as they prepared for the inevitable confrontation. Logan and Zephyr stood side by side on the bridge, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and determination. "We have to protect the Star Wanderer," Zephyr said, her voice filled with resolve. "It's our only chance." Logan nodded, his grip tightening on the console. "We'll do whatever it takes." The alien fleet moved into position, their weapons charging as the tension reached a breaking point. The Odyssey's crew held their breath, waiting for the first shot to be fired. But before the battle could begin, A massive energy surge emanated from the Star Wanderer, its tendrils pulsing with a brilliant light. The alien ships hesitated, their weapons flickering as the energy wave washed over them. Zephyr gasped as the connection between her and the Star Wanderer flared to life. She could feel the creature's desperation, its need to protect the sanctuary and its memories. "It's trying to communicate," Zephyr whispered, her eyes wide with realization. "It's showing them its memories, just like it did with me." The alien fleet faltered, their ships pulling back as the Star Wanderer's memories flooded their minds. The factions that had sought to destroy the creature were suddenly overwhelmed with the weight of its history, its pain, and its loneliness. Tuvar's holographic image flickered, its expression unreadable. "The Star Wanderer. It is not what we thought. It is not a threat. It is a survivor." Captain Krell let out a slow breath, his antennae relaxing slightly. "Then let's end this. Stand down your forces, Tuvar. Let us work together to protect the Star Wanderer and its sanctuary." Tuvar nodded, its eyes glowing with a newfound understanding. "Agreed. The factions will be ordered to stand down. We will protect the Star Wanderer and its legacy." As the alien fleet retreated, the Odyssey moved into position around the sanctuary, its crew working to establish a stable connection with the ancient structure. Zephyr and Logan watched as the Star Wanderer drifted closer to the station, its tendrils wrapping around the structure like a long-lost friend. "We did it," Zephyr murmured, her heart swelling with relief and pride. "We saved it." Logan wrapped his arm around her, pulling her close. "We did. And now, the Star Wanderer can finally find peace." As the Odyssey's crew began their work, the sanctuary came to life, its ancient systems humming with energy. The Star Wanderer had found its home, and with it, a new beginning for its species. But for Logan and Zephyr, the journey was far from over. They had faced unimaginable challenges and had come out stronger on the other side. And as they stood together, watching the Star Wanderer's tendrils intertwine with the sanctuary, they knew that their bond was unbreakable. Whatever the future held, they would face it together, hand in hand, ready to explore the endless possibilities that awaited them in the vast, uncharted reaches of space. Part 7. The New Dawn. The Odyssey hovered in orbit around the ancient sanctuary, its crew watching in awe as the Star Wanderer merged with the colossal structure. The alien tendrils pulsed with a soft, glowing light as they wrapped around the sanctuary's spires, breathing new life into the long-abandoned station. Captain Krell stood on the bridge, his antennae twitching with satisfaction. "It's hard to believe we made it here," he said, his voice filled with a mixture of relief and pride. Zephyr and Logan stood nearby, their hands clasped together as they watched the Star Wanderer's transformation. The connection between Zephyr and the creature was stronger than ever, a bond forged through shared memories and experiences. "The Star Wanderer is happy," Zephyr murmured, her eyes glowing with the light of the sanctuary. "It's found its home, and it's ready to begin anew." Logan squeezed her hand, his heart swelling with pride for the woman beside him. "And so have we. We've proven that cooperation between species is possible, that understanding and empathy can bridge even the greatest of divides." Tuvar's holographic image appeared on the bridge, its glowing eyes reflecting the soft light of the sanctuary. "The factions within my fleet have come to understand the true nature of the Star Wanderer. They now see it not as a threat, but as a symbol of resilience and survival." Captain Krell nodded, his expression solemn. "This alliance we forged, it's just the beginning. There's so much more we can accomplish together." Tuvar inclined its head slightly, a gesture of respect. "Indeed, the sanctuary holds many secrets, and with the Star Wanderer to guide us, we may uncover knowledge that has been lost for eons." Zephyr's eyes sparkled with excitement. "The Star Wanderer has already shared so much with me. I believe that the sanctuary holds the key to reviving its species. We could help bring them back from the brink of extinction." Logan's heart raced with the possibilities, and who knows what other discoveries we might make. This could be the start of a new era of exploration and understanding. As the Odyssey's crew began preparations to explore the sanctuary, Logan and Zephyr took a moment to reflect on how far they had come. The journey had been long and perilous, filled with challenges that had tested their resolve and their bond. But they had emerged stronger, their connection deepened by the experiences they had shared. And as they looked out at the vast, uncharted reaches of space, they knew that their adventure was far from over. "We've only just begun," Zephyr said, her voice filled with determination and hope. Logan smiled, his heart swelling with love and pride. "Whatever the future holds, we'll face it together." The Star Wanderer pulsed with a soft, radiant light, its tendrils intertwining with the sanctuary's spires. The ancient structure came to life, its systems humming with energy as the creature's essence flowed through it. And in that moment, as the Odyssey's crew prepared to embark on a new chapter of exploration and discovery, they knew that they had witnessed the dawn of something truly extraordinary. The sanctuary had become a beacon of hope, a symbol of what could be achieved when species put aside their differences and worked together for a common goal. As the Odyssey set course for the next phase of their mission, Logan and Zephyr stood side by side, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their journey had taken them to the farthest reaches of space, but it had also brought them closer to each other. And as they looked out at the endless expanse of the universe, they knew that they were not alone. They had each other, and they had the Star Wanderer, a creature that had shown them the true meaning of resilience, survival, and the power of connection. Together, they would explore the endless possibilities that awaited them, forging a new path forward in the vast, uncharted reaches of space. The new dawn had begun.